Bonjour and welcome to French Action. You've asked me to help you with CSEC French Paper 1, so I've made this video in two parts, listening and grammar and vocabulary. And this will be good practice for you before your exam. Vous êtes prêts? C'est parti! CSEC French Paper 1 is made up of two parts. Part A, which is the listening comprehension, and it tests your ability to understand spoken French. And Part B, which is the grammar and reading comprehension section, which tests your vocabulary, grammar, and ability to understand written French. So here in section 1, we have some instructions. Let's read the instructions together. For each question in this section, you will hear a single sentence. Choose from the 4 pictures in your test booklet the one picture which shows what the sentence says. Then shade the corresponding space on the answer sheet. For example, you hear Il lui donne un beau cadeau. So you're looking at the 4 pictures, and you decide on which one is the right answer. So the correct answer is picture D, so you would shade the space with the letter D on the answer sheet. So we're going to do that 8 times, because you're going to have 8 of those. So listen carefully. Numéro 1. Il fait signe de la main sans son cartable d'école. Numéro 2. Elle joue à la poupée. Numéro 3. Elle vérifie ses courses. Numéro 4. Il s'occupe de ses fleurs. Numéro 5. Il chante dans un chœur. Numéro 6. Il regarde son voisin travailler. Numéro 7. Ils ne se sont pas servis de la bicyclette. Numéro 8. Il achète des billets pour le spectacle. Now we're moving to section 2. Let's go through the instructions. In this section, you will hear a number of sentences. Each sentence will be read twice and will be followed by one question or incomplete statement. 4 suggested answers for each question are printed in your test booklet. For each question, choose the answer which best completes the question or statement. For example, you will hear Jean est allé chercher des vêtements neufs pour aller à la boum. Jean est allé chercher des vêtements neufs pour aller à la boum. Qu'est-ce qu'il a acheté? After examining the suggested answers, you should select the best one and shade the corresponding space on your answer sheet. So the correct answer here is B. So you would shade the space with the letter B on your answer sheet. The difference between section 2 and section 1 is that for section 1 we only heard the statement once, whereas here it's going to be twice. However, there's a question or incomplete statement. You need to listen for the intonation. Qu'est-ce qu'il a acheté? The voice raises and it is a question. If it doesn't raise, it is an incomplete statement. So now listen to the first question of section 2. Question numéro 9. Je vous prie de redresser le dos de votre siège. Nous allons bientôt atterrir. Je vous prie de redresser le dos de votre siège. Nous allons bientôt atterrir. Où êtes-vous? Question numéro 10. Elle dit: Je suis désolée d'avoir renversé votre café. Elle dit: Je suis désolée d'avoir renversé votre café. Que s'est-il passé? Question numéro 11. Il commence à faire froid. Il commence à faire froid. Sophie a besoin d'un... Question numéro 12. Il ne reste plus rien dans le frigo. Il ne reste plus rien dans le frigo. Il faut acheter. Question numéro 13. Pour son boulot d'été, Pierre doit... Pour son boulot d'été, Pierre doit... Question numéro 14. Il faut que tu maigrisses. Il faut que tu maigrisses. Essaie de... Question numéro 15. J'apprécie ma croisière. J'apprécie ma croisière. Où se trouve-t-on? Question numéro 16. Quelle coupe voulez-vous? Quelle coupe voulez-vous? Qui parle? Now we are moving to section 3. Let's read the instructions. In this section, you will hear 2 public announcements or news items, followed by a number of questions. Each announcement or news item will be read twice. For each question, there's a choice of 4 responses. Select the best response and shade the corresponding space on your answer sheet. There is no sample question for this section. And also, I will not give you 4 responses. I will ask you to just answer the question, and you can do it in English. It's just to know whether or not you've understood. Let's start section 3, announcement 1. First of all, read the questions. The questions will guide you for the comprehension. So now I'm going to read announcement 1. Mesdames, Messieurs, je vous remercie d'être venus à la réunion pour discuter de l'avenir de votre enfant. Vous êtes prié de vous rendre immédiatement dans la salle Z où vous rencontrerez notre conseillère d'orientation. L'entrevue ne durera pas plus de 10 minutes. Mesdames, Messieurs, je vous remercie d'être venus à la réunion pour discuter de l'avenir de votre enfant. Vous êtes priés de vous rendre immédiatement dans la salle Z où vous rencontrerez notre conseillère d'orientation. L'entrevue ne durera pas plus de 10 minutes. Annonce numéro 2. So now you need to read the questions so that you can focus on the answers. I'm going to read the message now. Le train à destination de Marseille aura 10 minutes de retard. Nous vous prions de vous rendre au quai numéro 4. Le train à destination de Marseille aura 10 minutes de retard. Nous vous prions de vous rendre au quai numéro 4. Section 4, which is the last one for the listening, you will have a passage in French and it's going to be divided into two parts, part A and part B, and you will have 4 questions for part A and 4 questions for part B. And of course you will have your A, B, C, D, and you will need to select the best answer and shade the corresponding letter on the answer sheet, which will be provided to you. Unfortunately, I do not have a passage for section 4 because all the passages are very different. However, section 1, 2, and 3 are very much the same in terms of statements. So that's the reason why I spend more time on those first 3 sections. Okay? Voici les réponses. Let's go back to section 1. So question 1 was B. I said, il fait signe de la main sans son cartable d'école. So the key word here was sans, which is without. He's waving with his hand, okay, without his school bag. And if you look carefully, he doesn't have his school bag. Now for the second one, it's B again. I said, elle joue à la poupée. They play with a doll, So doll is poupée. If you didn't know the words, then you're learning it today. So number 3 is B. I said, elle vérifie ses courses. She's checking. Vérifie comes from vérifier, to check. So she's got a list. It could well be that she's checking that she hasn't forgotten anything since she's doing her shopping. So elle vérifie ses courses. Number 4 is A. And I said, il s'occupe de ses fleurs. Is looking after his flowers. Il s'occupe de ses fleurs. And then the last one is D. And I said, ils chantent dans un chœur. They sing in a choir. Chœur is choir, and if you didn't know, then you're learning this today. So for question 6, we have answer C. I said, il regarde son voisin travailler. Is watching or is looking at his neighbor work. And you can see that in the picture. Number 7, it's answer A. I said, ils ne se sont pas servis de la bicyclette. They didn't use the bicycle. Ne pas se servir de, or se servir de means to use, okay? And the last one, it's C, and I said, il achète des billets pour le spectacle. He's buying tickets for the show. So, how many answers did you get right? Now, section 2. For question 9, it was B. This is what I said. Où êtes-vous? That was the question. And the key word here was atterrir, which means to land. And if you are about to land, then you are on a plane. For question 10, the answer was D. Il a ses vêtements pleins de café. This is what I said. Elle dit, je suis désolée d'avoir renversé votre café. I'm sorry for spilling your coffee. Que s'est-il passé? What happened? So here, the best answer is D, because he didn't spill the coffee. He's not working in a cafe, and he didn't drink a coffee. For question 11, it's A, foulard. Foulard is a scarf, and you can put the scarf on your head if you're cold. It says, il commence à faire froid. It's getting chilly, it's getting cold. Sophie a besoin d'un, and that was the incomplete statement. Sophie needs a, and the best answer here is foulard. For question number 12, it was B. What I said was, il ne reste plus rien dans le frigo. There's nothing left in the fridge. Il faut acheter. I have to buy. And of course, it's meat, not books, not paper, and not clothes. Number 13, the answer is D. Prendre des commandes, to take orders. Okay, so pour son boulot d'été, Pierre doit. Boulot was the key word here. Boulot is colloquial word for job. For his summer job, Pierre has to. And the best answer here is to take orders, assuming that he's a waiter. Okay, so if you didn't know the word boulot, learn it today. Number 14 is B, suivre un régime, to go on a diet. This is what I said. Il faut que tu maigrisses. Essaie de. You must lose weight. Try to go on a diet. Question 15 is C. Dans un port, I said, j'apprécie ma croisière. Où se trouve-t-on? I like my cruise. Where are we? Okay, so that is dans un port is obviously the best answer here. It's in a port since we're talking about cruise, a cruise. And for the last question, it was answer A, le coiffeur, which is the hairdresser. Quelle coupe voulez-vous? Qui parle? What hairstyle do you want? Who is talking? It has to be the hairdresser or the barber. Voici les réponses pour les annonces. So for this one, I did ask you to say it in English, but on the day, everything will be in French, okay? So, à qui parle-t-on? Parents. Que doit-on faire? Go to room Z. Pourquoi? Why? To meet the guidance counselor. So, this is the text I read. Mesdames, Messieurs, je vous remercie d'être venus à la réunion pour discuter de l'avenir de votre enfant. Vous êtes prié de vous rendre immédiatement dans la salle Z où vous rencontrerez notre conseillère d'orientation. L'entrevue ne durera pas plus de 10 minutes. Voilà. So here, what you have to remember is whenever you say you hear, vous êtes prié de, it just means please. You're asking somebody to do something. So it's like, please go immediately to room Z. Okay? Guidance counselor is conseillère d'orientation. And l'entrevue means the interview. Okay, the discussion you're going to have with the guidance counselor. Okay, so now for question 20, it was passengers. 21, train, you're on a train. And for question 22, you needed to go to platform 4. And this is the text which I read. Le train à destination de Marseille aura 10 minutes de retard. Nous vous prions de vous rendre au quai numéro 4. Okay, so this again, nous vous prions de, just meant please. Rendre, se rendre à means to go to. Quai is platform. And that's why we have the answer, go to platform 4. Okay? Did you manage those two announcements? For part B, I'm going to give you one reading comprehension and one grammar vocabulary exercise. So for the reading comprehension, just read the questions first, and then I'm going to show you the flyer. This is the flyer. Please pause the video. Again, the questions so that you can answer them now. Please pause the video. Voici les réponses. So for question 1, it was D. Okay, so you have to be very, very careful. Le magasin ferme le 15 août. No, it doesn't say that. It says that the sales are up until the 15th of August. On peut retourner un article après un an? No, they just said that the guarantee, the warranty rather, is for 1 year, not after 1 year. And le magasin s'appelle solde en ligne? No, it doesn't say that. Solde en ligne is really the big title so to attract customers, sales online. And for question number 2, on a une réduction sur une machine à laver. There's nothing which talks about a machine à laver, but it is what they are selling, okay? Selling different things which are electric. And la livraison est gratuite pour un achat de 200 euros. No, it's for over 200 euros. And on paie en espèces? No, because it's online, so it has to be online and not cash. Okay. Now let's move to part B, which is the grammar and vocabulary section with exercise 1. You actually have 2 exercises in this video. Exercise 1, you're just going to have a letter with some blanks and you will have to fill them based on the options provided to you. Voici les réponses. So, the first answer is 1C, t'annoncer. Je t'écris pour t'annoncer. You need to remember that two verbs follow each other. The second takes the infinitive form. The infinitive form could be ER, IR, or RE. So here, what you would have to think of is A or C. But because we want to say, I'm writing to you to announce or to tell you about, to tell you, the you is never à toi. It's always the T apostrophe before, or the te, te. Here it would be T apostrophe because the verb begins with a vowel. Okay, so it has to be C. So, je t'écris pour t'annoncer une bonne nouvelle. So I'm writing to you to tell you good news. La de mon cousin. So this one is a bit easier because décès, which is death, is masculine. Mariage is masculine. The only two which could fit is naissance or réussite because it's feminine, okay? La naissance de mon cousin et la réussite de mon cousin, the success, you'll have to read on to see if it would work. So in this case is naissance and that is another C. Then it's D, on lui a donné ton nom. He was given your name. Okay, remember it's a newborn, Pierre, so he was given the same name, which is Pierre, so that is lui. It's going to be lui because it's the indirect pronoun. Okay, you give something to somebody, which makes it indirect. All the other three, the le, the la, and the L apostrophe are direct pronouns. Je suis. So this one, at this point, would be difficult to know which one it is because you need to find out if the person who is writing is a male or a female. So what you need to do is to go to the bottom of the letter and find out. Sophie is a female name, so you know it's a woman. Therefore, it's going to be E at the end. That's the only one who's got an E is A. Ravi, je suis ravie, I'm delighted. So for the first one, it's going to be par contre. Par contre, which means however. He doesn't look like you. So he's got the same name as you, but he doesn't look like you. Okay? And then we want to say, I will send you pictures. Then you need to know that the future of envoyer is je t'enverrai. Okay? All the others do not exist. D is the only possible answer. Now the first answer here is de. Et toi, tu ne m'as pas donné de nouvelles. You didn't give me any news. Here we want the word any. Any is de. Du, de, la, des is some. Okay, you need to remember that. Then, comment est ton emploi? Here we want to say, what's your new employment like? Then this one, only C can work because emploi begins with a vowel. Okay, and it's masculine and emploi, so we can only have nouvelle with the EL at the end. This one, number 9, is fairly easy because you have an ER, so you need to have a verb before, and there's only one verb, which is failli. I nearly resigned, okay? Whereas all the others, enfin, finalement, aujourd'hui, are not verbs, so this one was an easy one. Cependant, ils ont accepté. You need to know that after accepter, the preposition is de. J'accepte de faire quelque chose. Okay, so they accepted to give me an increase in my salary. Okay, so since I got this increase, I decided to stay. And the answer is D, je suis resté, and with the two E's, because remember, Sophie is the one who wrote the letter. So it has to be a female, and we're going to have resté with an E. Je suis parti would have worked, but because the person got the increase, then why would she leave? She has to stay, okay? So je suis resté. L'augmentation que j'ai reçue était assez importante. So here, the reçu, recevu doesn't exist. And reçu without the cédilia doesn't exist either. So A or C are the only one where you would be trying to think which one should be. Now, it's going to be C because l'augmentation, which is the object here, is placed before avoir in the past tense. And you need to remember that when this happens, you will have the agreement with the object and not the subject, okay? I'm going to refer you to a video which I made a long time ago, which explains all this. Okay, so for number 13, the answer is A. J'ai hâte de te lire. I can't wait to read you. Okay, and the last one is B. Ton ami. So you have to be careful. It's going to be ami with an E because Sophie is a female. But it's also going to be ton because ami, even though ami is feminine and it should be ta, but remember, because the word begins with a vowel, ta ami doesn't sound right, so we keep the ton. Okay, so think about that. I hope you got all this right. Now let's move to exercise 2. Voici les réponses. Nous allons l'expulser. Il n'a pas payé le loyer. Le loyer is the rent. So we're going to kick him out. He hasn't paid the rent for 2 months. Numéro 2. As-tu payé tes factures? Oui, j'ai payé les miennes. Have you paid your bills? Yes, I paid mine. And mine would be les because facture is plural and facture is also feminine, so we're going to have mienne. Number 3, le livre dont tu parles est en français. Dont, I remind you that dont equals to de plus que. Okay? Tu parles de. You talk about something. Okay? So you're going to have de and que, which equals to dont. Le livre dont tu parles est en français. So the book you're talking about is in French. Then number 4, je te remercie d'avance and not en avance as I often see. I thank you in advance. So 5 and 6 are all about expressions. So if it's either you know them or you don't. Number 5, I played the lottery and I won the jackpot. The jackpot is le gros lot. You need to know that expression. And le grand cash doesn't exist, by the way. And for the second one, the key word was trinquer. Trinquer is to make a toast, you know, to toast when you say cheers. Obviously, it's a glass. So you look at the vocabulary you have here, and a glass is un verre. So il aime donc prendre un verre. And prendre un verre is to have a drink. J'aime ses chaussures, c'est... This one is, if you know the rule, it's an easy one, is A, c'est beau, because after c'est, you can only have the adjective being masculine singular. You can't have anything else, even though what you're referring to might be feminine plural, as it is the case here. Okay, so that is a rule you must know, c'est plus masculine singular adjective. And now number 8, this is an easy one, but I hear the mistake all the time because in English we say I'm going to take part in, you tend to say dans, but it's à. Je vais participer à ce concours. I'm going to take part in this competition. Okay, number 9 is D. Il est défendu de fumer. I know that défense de fumer means the same as défendu de fumer. The only difference is that défense cannot be used with il est. Interdit would have been okay as well if I had put the T, but there's no T there, so it's not possible. And pas possible de fumer, well, normally with pas you need to have the negative. And for number 10, il aime les chevaux, he likes horses, so he does. What does he do? Well, l'équitation, it's horse riding. So how was it? I used rules and vocabulary that CXE put in past papers, so please practice before your exam. Just thank me by liking the video or making a comment. Bonne chance and au revoir!